Live from San Diego's more local news station, this is the KUSI News at 10.
Well, for the last week, the stories about President Ronald Reagan have been coming out of the political woodwork. But tonight, we have one such story that's a little more homegrown, one that originates from the walls of this very television station. This is a story about a connection between KUSI TV and President Ronald Reagan. A story brought to you by a Los Angeles disc jockey by the name of Shotgun Tom Kelly, who currently works for the oldies powerhouse K-Earth 101. But let's backtrack a little to explain how this native San Diegan was able to get a handwritten message from the great communicator himself, a message penned 17 years ago. You see, that many years ago, Kelly worked for KUSI TV as the host of the station's very popular Kids Club.
And find out more about our newest member of the KUSI Kids Club right here at SeaWorld. Right, Clyde?
And how did Kelly parlay his KUSI gig into a visit to the Oval Office? Well, the beauty of asking a big-time radio DJ a question is that you get the whole story in one soundbite.
You know, before I went to Oldies Radio K-Earth 101 in Los Angeles, I worked at KUSI as a children's show host and a booth announcer. And so Duncan Hunter, my congressman, he said, hey, I'd like you to be the MC for one of the rallies. So I was the MC for one of the Reagan rallies here in town when he came to town. And then Duncan said, I'd like you to give your hat, your trademark Ranger hat, to the president. And I'm going to work it out so you can walk into the Oval Office in Washington, D.C. at the White House and give it to him. And I said, oh, that'd be great. So anyway, I was here at KUSI, and I got the call, and so I flew back to Washington, D.C., and Duncan Hunter and I went over to the White House, and I'm waiting in the West Wing of the White House, waiting to go into the Oval Office to see the President of the United States, and I'm going, what am I going to say to the President of the United States, the leader of the free world? And I said, well, talk about what you know, broadcasting, radio, TV. So the office opened up, and he was sitting behind the desk. President Reagan got up from behind his desk, walked over to the shell bookcase, and he was briefed, and he says, well, Shotgun, I understand you entertained the people in San Diego while they're waiting for me at Fashion Valley. And I said, yes, Mr. President, I did, and it was a pleasure, and I have a gift for you. And at that point, I gave him my trademark Ranger hat. He put it on, and that's the picture they took, the White House photographer.
Kelly says meeting Reagan was one of the high points of his life. He says the president was more gracious and kind than he'd ever expected. Nice man.
So many wonderful stories like that.
They just keep coming out, don't they?
Yeah, it's wonderful.